In the neon-soaked, whimsical halls of Gardenview Center, things usually ran like clockwork, or at least as well as they could when a giant flower is your boss. But for Sylvester, the resident ghostly night today was less about haunting and more about hurrying. It started after a questionable run-in with a tray of vintage velvet cupcakes that Dandy had left out near the elevator. Sylvester, being a ghost, usually didn't have to worry about digestion, but Gardenview logic is a fickle beast. If you can be hit by a bandage or slowed by a puddle, you can certainly be betrayed by a snack. The rattle in the armor. The first sign of trouble wasn't a spectral moan, it was a low, metallic gurgle that echoed through his translucent visor. Sylvester froze in the middle of a hallway. The sensation, it felt like a miniature Toodles was throwing a tantrum inside his ethereal ribcage. The sound, a hollow, wet rattling that sounded like a bag of marbles dropped into a swamp. "By the stars," Sylvester whispered, his blue flames flickering to a sickly shade of chartreuse. "I believe the cupcakes have declared war." The Great Descent. Sylvester tried to maintain his knightly dignity. He floated toward the nearest restroom, but every time he tried to phase through a wall to save time, the pressure spiked. It turns out even ghosts have limits when it comes to keeping their spectral integrity together under duress. He drifted past Brightney, who was busy organizing some light bulbs. "Rough night, Sylvester? You look a little transparent?" she asked, tilting her head. "I am merely practicing my stern posture," Sylvester squeaked, clenching his spectral glutes so hard he actually sparked. He didn't wait for a reply, jetting down the hall with a trail of panicked blue mist behind him. The final stand. He reached the bathroom stalls just as a group of toons was heading in to wash up. "Occupied. By order of the sea. Ghostly realm," he bellowed, slamming the stall door. What followed was a symphony of sounds that Gardenview had never heard before. It wasn't just a ghostly encounter, it was an exorcism of the bowels. Phase 1, the whistling kettle, high-pitched spectral gas. Phase 2, the avalanche of ectoplasm, the main event. Phase 3, the deflated bagpipe, the aftermath. Inside the stall, Sylvester clung to the grab bar for dear life. "I have faced shadow monsters, I have endured the darkness, but I have never known such treachery." The aftermath. 10 minutes later, Sylvester floated out of the stall. He looked thinner, somehow even more dead than usual. His armor felt 3 sizes too big, and his glow was dim, like a flashlight with dying batteries. He drifted back into the main lobby, where Dandy was standing, smiling his usual unsettling smile. "How were the cupcakes, Sylvester? I added a special vintage ingredient." Sylvester looked at the flower, then at the elevator, then back at Dandy. Without a word, the knight turned around and floated slowly back toward the bathroom, his armor clanking with a weary, defeated rhythm. "Victory has a price," Sylvester muttered to himself, "and today, that price was my dignity." Would you like me to generate an image of Sylvester looking particularly exhausted after his ordeal?